Captain Adard studied the remains of the ship, which was in better condition than they initially expected. Bobbing away behind them, the large frame of a now headless Hydra, sitting largely on the main deck in front, a second headless Hydra, along with two large necks just sprawled around in front of the mast. Above them, a dark sky beckoned. Captain Adad looked down at Marka, still barely conscious and coming to. Marka, you gotta get up quick. We need to get this in order. That storm's about to hit, and it's gonna be rough. The captain looked to the hand of Aegis, still wiping blood off their weapons. Or at least, what improvised weapons they had. Alright, you lot. You've handled a Hydra. 2 Hydras. This is different. I'm gonna need you to help out. Wherever and whenever there's a need, you gotta be there. This is gonna be rough. All hands on deck. Okay, I'm going to move you all over to the Storm Trial page.
Can I do just like housekeeping? Can I do a little bit of like lay on hands? I don't know that it's going to matter in this particular trial, but
to yourself.
That's what I would do right after battle. Yeah.
You absolutely may. Yes.
Okay.
To that order. Here's what I'll say. So, the captain has just said, all hands on deck. And that sort of initiates the escaping the storm trial. As you can see on screen, players and people who are watching on YouTube, there is an image of the deck indicating 5 locations: the rigging and crow's nest, the quarterdeck where the helm is located, the main deck, the forecastle, which is just the bit at the front of the boat that's sort of elevated a little bit off the main deck, and then the hold. Those are the 5 locations that you could be at in any of the rounds. So each round you'll need to move your person to where you think you will be best suited. The rounds last for 30 minutes, so it's not sort of like a rapid fire thing. This is sort of like, what are you going to be doing for this period? Basically, what will happen is each round you can choose, it's not required, you can choose to do something to try and help with the trial. For ease, I'm just going to have everyone roll initiative. So if you will, click your character icon on the I was going to say the board, but that's not really, on the map, and then roll initiative, and I figure that's probably the easiest way to make it work.
Oh, how do you do that from here?
So you click on your character first on the map itself.
Yeah.
And then you click on your character sheet. You just hit initiative, and it should populate.
Okay, hang on, I gotta pull up my character.
And then you should see it populating. Can you guys see the turn order as well?
Yeah.
Getting filled in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. There's the way this will work. There's going to be sort of like an initial. The first round will be like a prep round. So despite the fact that it says that the DC is 13, for the prep round it's actually going to be a little less, because you're just doing what you can to get the ship ready. And then you can just use whatever skill you feel appropriate. If you want to use a spell to achieve something, if you have an available spell slot and a spell that you think would be beneficial, you can do that, and that will potentially have either some things will, sort of like judge if it's going to. Some things could potentially be like an automatic success if there's just no way it could possibly fail. For certain spells. I don't know what the situation is. We'll just sort of, encounter that all together, I guess. Yes, first round will be preparing the ship and the crew, making sure that everyone is prepared. And then the second phase will be based on, to an extent, there will be a certain amount of a random element, because each of the following rounds, someone will roll a d20. And I have a random effect table. Ooh, yes.
Ooh.
Yes, the way it will work is, at the beginning of the round, everyone will figure out where they want to be beneficial for that round. And then we'll go down in order, and people can say what they want to do, and then do their thing. Again, you don't have to. Bear in mind, so there's 6 rounds. There's obviously 6 of you. That's potentially 36 opportunities. And you only need 15 successes. Again, there's still the 5 failures. If you get 5 failures, you automatically completely fail. And it just stops at that point. So, right now, there are 4 others on the ship with you. Captain Adar and Marka are on the quarterdeck. Marka is still recovering from being attacked by the Hydra. His wounds are mostly staunched thanks to Spare the Dying and I believe laying on of hands from Cosette. But he's not in a great way. Captain Adar did not leave the helm during that fight, but was just sort of overseeing things, trying to keep the ship sailing. The other 2 members of the crew were in the hold. Cosette, I believe, tried to convince them to come out and help, and they did not. The rest of, the Hand of Aegis are, I believe, it would be, in fact, let me just flick back real quick so I can confirm this. So, Claire and Cosette and Smokey are all up on the quarterdeck initially. And then, Silvarius, Bardor, and Esco are on the main deck at the end of the fight. As far as the approaching storm, so the clouds have very much gathered. The wind is already starting to pick up. And to an extent, the intensity of the storm right now will be determined when I have someone roll a d20 in a second. It may be that it hasn't quite reached you, or it may be that it's approached a little bit faster than expected. The way the captain was talking has given you the indication that the storm will be upon you very quickly. Realistically, unless the dice say otherwise, you have this first round of 30 minutes to prepare for the worst of the storm to hit. But already the wind and rain and the spray from the sea is hitting the ship. You do have lit torches on top of the ship, so you can see what's happening on the ship itself.
Cool.
So yeah, go ahead and position yourself where you think you will be of most use for this first round, or where you would like to do something.
So the captain has just said, we need to all hands on deck.
Yep.
Because I personally know nothing of beneficial, I know nothing of ships, as far as outside of the ropes for the sails and steering. I'm guessing I would reluctantly reach out to Captain Adder about what he would consider weak spots in his crew.
I tell you what, give me a free insight check here.
Free insight? Ooh, 18.
Pretty good. Okay. So this particular mission has been run with a light crew, Adard and First Mate Marka, and then Lachlan, Nina, and Smokey. Of those 4, the First Mate and the other 3, Marka seems very competent. Smokey seems very competent. Lachlan and Nina seem kind of useless. They certainly were they were not involved in any way, shape, or form with the Hydras. They stayed below deck. So if there's a weak point in the crew, Silvarius would absolutely have identified them very quickly for their cowardice. And lack of composure. Whereas Silvarius would definitely see Marka and Smokey as very competent. Marka just got unlucky and got caught by a raging Hydra. It happens to us all sometimes, you know. So yeah.
I mean, I would shout out actually, like, what do you want us to do? To the captain, even though it was said like, need your help. What do you want us to do?
Fair. As far as preparation, tying down anything loose would be beneficial. That would be on deck or in the hold. Handling loose ropes. Trying to help spot a course could be beneficial. But as far, mostly it would be trying to make sure that there's as few hazards on deck as possible in terms of preparation. So the less stuff that can roll around and club people in the head, the better.
So should we be looking around for that kind of stuff, or how should we handle that?
I'll let you decide that on your turn.
Sounds good.
Quick turn question then.
Yes.
So, like, Silvarius is currently in the hold, and Cossette's there. Mm-hmm. Would, before, like, things initiated, because my question about, like, the weak spots, I was initially thinking, yeah, I'll try to, like, kick Lachlan and Nina into gear. But if Cossette's around, Silvarius knows that Cossette's, well, no, never mind, because sometimes Cossette's kind of nervous. Sometimes. So never mind. Okay, I was going to say, could I, like...
Well, maybe as we're, like, splitting up, Cossette would say, I'm going to go get those fools out of the hold.
Okay, yeah.
That was, I mean, that, you know, kind of, as everyone kind of breaks to do that, that's what she was intending to do.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
To yell at them again. I mean, not that it worked the first time, and maybe having a big dragon come do it couldn't hurt, but...
I'll back you up. I'll look imposing.
Okay. So, I'll have... we'll do this sort of in reverse order here. So, Smokey, can you please roll a d20 to see the random effect for this turn?
E.
I don't remember how tall the mast is, but Eska has scuttled up to the top.
Oh,
I have a note that says it's 30 feet tall.
Okay.
And actually, looking back, I think that's where you were.
It might well be, because I did float.
You floated up and were clinging, so I think you were already up there.
I'm probably.
So it's more
I'd probably
a case
just
of
stay up there and you know, keep an eye out.
Yep.
Wait.
So yeah, just
Which one do I pick again? The D. Just click D20, right?
mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So as the ship continues forwards towards Drakesburg and the storm approaches, thick fog creeps in ahead of the worst of the weather, making visibility difficult. For this round, there is disadvantage on any perception check. And if you move to a new section next turn, or next round, excuse me, you will have disadvantage on that next round's attempts because of the impact of the fog. Silvaris, you are up first. What would you like to do, if anything?
If Cosette said what she said about going down to the hole to get those two fools, I would join in on that and try to rally Lachlan and Nina with Cosette.
Okay.
Not. I'm trying to think if it's not quite intimidation, but aggressive persuasion, if that makes any sense.
I will happily let you choose between the two.
There's only one.
There is only one.
Because it's a fine line with Silvarius. It's always been a fine line.
Really, those could just be mushed together on my skill bar. Split the difference.
A roll per intimidation, please.
Yep, exactly.
Now, and would that be just rolling a skill, or is there like the help mechanic in play in this? How would that work, or would just both?
I would say if Cosette is happy to forgo her role, then yes, I would permit advantage on that.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Let's give it a go. Ooh, 19.
Okay. So what do you say between the two of you to Lachlan and Nina to get them to act? Bearing in mind that whatever you do say is successful.
Yeah, I think Cassette might start by saying, we took care of the Hydra. Things are safe now, but now a storm's coming. Come with us and do your jobs. And then kind of stepping aside and having Silvarius behind her.
And they'll just kind of like back her up with, "You're not going to be useless this time." And start actually like grab one of them by the sleeve and start pulling them up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do a opposed strength rolls with these two fools. If we have to drag them up there.
Oh boy, you two have way more strength than they could ever muster. Okay, so you have very much with what can only be described as borderline persuasion, because that was not very uplifting, but it was motivational. So I guess that's persuading in its own way.
Physically uplifting, like lifting them physically.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so you have succeeded in getting Lachlan and Nina to move into action. Eska, what would you like to do, if anything?
Eska's going to keep an eye out, but she's not going to... She's basically going to kind of hold fast this turn until the fog clears.
Okay.
Doesn't feel like she can give
problem.
very good directions under the circumstances.
Understood. Badur.
Yarp.
What would you like to do, if anything?
I would actually like to really cast a Long Strider on myself so I actually can move around a little bit quicker.
Okay. Yeah.
So I will
you do so. I will say that given that we can we can eliminate for you the disadvantage next turn for fog, because you can just move around quicker.
All right.
But that would be your obviously that only takes an action,
Right.
but for the purposes of the trial, we'll call that a thing. It's neither a success or failure, but it certainly helps with your future endeavors.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an hour. Yeah, that'll last. And I'll actually I'll say that for the purposes of this, we'll just allow that long strider to exist for the duration of the trial.
Okay.
What does it look like when Bardur casts Longstrider?
It's basically anytime he gets it, he basically tries to do something a little bit more natural. So he gets some dirt, and so like he kind of like goes into the crevice of the ship and just kind of like scrapes up a little bit of dirt and just like rubs it on the side of his cheek. And
Nice.
Then he just feels a little bit more twitchy than normal.
And he's pretty twitchy as a rule. Okay, Cosette has acted. Smokey, you're up.
Smokey is just frantically running around, tying things down.
Okay.
Frantic, but like I guess hurried would be the better description. Like he's super focused on that being his task, and so that's what he's doing.
And what skill do you think, skill or proficiency do you think would be appropriate here?
Ooh. I don't know. I guess tying things down well, would that be more like dexterity?
Let's see, what do we got? You actually do have water vehicle proficiency, which I think that could fall under. Because this would be
I do.
not tying and knowing what could get thrown around and what might not. So that being the case, if you click that, I think it will ask you what skill to use, and I think dexterity would be appropriate in this instance. Since you're tying things and stuff. So yeah, you can go ahead and give me a water vehicle efficiency thing.
13.
Okay. So, Claire, as you're dealing with the sail, you see Smokey kind of like a little whirling dervish around you. Just rapid movement. Fastening things down, moving from spot to spot. I would say that you're actually able to tie the 2 Hydra necks down, so that they won't flop about with your roll.
Okay.
The torso is still there, and that's more than you're able to deal with, specifically. So that is still kind of like just sitting there on the deck at the moment.
Okay.
But there's a 3rd success. Let me just drop in a little freehand. Well, that'll do. Make sure I'm on the right thing. Or little Hydra torso coming here. Oh dear, that took some bad turns with some wonky hand movements. And a tail, I guess. Okay, that's a Hydra torso, obviously.
Yeah.
There's never any doubt.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Giant goose on board.
It's a torso.
It's a torso.
Goosh.
It's a Hydra torso in the fog. It really messes with your
Exactly.
visual.
There it is.
Phew. For those of you who are listening to this and not watching, congratulations. You win. So, end of the first round. 3 successes, 0 failures. Very good. What we'll do is each round I'll just advance the thingy, so it'll change who goes first. That way it's not just Silveris every time. That logics. So, if you wish to move to a new region, you may do so. You feel that you have adequately prepared the ship. Now it will be a case of continuing to maintain good order on the ship. The storm has hit. The wind is fierce. The rain is lashing down. There's a lot of water on the deck. It is quite slick. Eska, you are feeling a little vulnerable right now up in the rigging. Or crow's nest, or crow's nest. I don't know exactly where you've visited. Probably in the crow's nest. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
You can see the torso of the Hydra sort of wibbling about a little bit. Not really moving yet. There is some pitch and roll happening on the ship. Those of a weak constitution are probably feeling this unpleasantly in the stomach right now. Assuming everything goes well and everything has been tied down well, hopefully there will be no major damage from things being from cargo shifting or anything like that. It will really depend on how bad the storm gets, but you have to be prepared for all eventualities. With that being said, if you wish to relocate to a new area, you may do so. With the understanding that anybody relocating aside from Bardor would potentially have disadvantage because of the fog.
Do we move on our turn, or we'll just move right away?
Everyone will move now.
Okay.
As there's sort of like a... yes, just a sort of reorganization of things.
Okay, I'll go from the main deck to the forecastle.
We'll pop Lachlan and Nina up on the main deck.
Yeah, because that's going to the main deck as well.
Okay. Okay, so to confirm, we have Eska up in the crow's nest, Silveris Bardor in the forecastle, then Smoky, Claire, Cassette in the main deck, along with Lachlan and Nina now. In the quarterdeck, we still have Adard and Marka, and currently nobody in the hold. Claire, would you please roll a d20? That is a 4.
We're gonna die.
The waves pick up intensity. The wind is fierce and howling through the rigging. For Eska, Silveris, and Bardor, in a relatively unprotected area, the wind stings your faces, and the rain lashes against it relentlessly. However, there are no unexpected events right now. What you do note is that just listening right now, you have some options available to you. You think that even with the best efforts of everybody, there probably is some cargo starting to shift in the hold. Potentially causing damage if it rolls fast enough. So that's something that you probably will want to take care of. In addition, there are shapes in the fog. As the fog clears, there appear to be shapes in the water. Unclear exactly what. Eska, with the fog clearing, you immediately have the best view. You can see that it is going to be very difficult for the captain to stay locked in on Drakesburg. So any amount of guidance towards the either clearer skies or towards Drakesburg itself, either or, could be beneficial. But yeah, so that's not. Oh yes, sorry, it is. You are first up.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was you prepping me.
It absolutely was. Yes, definitely.
So Eska is she's gonna attempt to sort of not tie herself to where she is, but she is gonna sort of try and find an end of rope that she can just sort of grab and then wrap her wrist around, so she's got like a slight anchor in case she gets blown out of here or something.
Okay.
So she'll probably just do that, and then she is going to basically put her full effort into looking where they're headed and try and guide, and then use message to communicate that to the captain, so that if the noise is causing issues, it's coming directly into their head.
Okay. Give me a perception check. DC is now 13.
Alrighty. Ooh, 13.
Okay. So looking out, you do not see any obviously clearer sections of sky. Basically everything in front of you, between you and Drakesburg, looks dark and menacing. But you do at least see that the ship has veered slightly to the left and can relay the message to the captain to try and head a little more to the right to get back heading towards the island.
I think that'll be it. It'll be just trying to make sure that the ship is not veering off course. If there's no clear weather, just trying to get the most direct route.
Yep. Okay. So that information has been relayed, and
she can keep doing that as much as needed throughout this period.
Okay.
With it being a cantrip, she can just keep up a constant.
Yeah. And you hear the captain sort of reply, "All right, thank you, keep it up. It's hard down here." And you obtain your 4th success. Butter.
So there's like dark spots in the water up ahead.
Yes.
Do they look like they're moving, or are they stationary?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. I am going to... I've still got my hunter's mark up. If I'm going to, like, pick one of them and try to throw my hunter's mark on it.
Okay.
If I can.
You can.
Does it, like, lock on?
It does.
Oh, dear.
You now feel like this presence moving in the water. You know exactly where it is, how far away. You can feel it moving around.
Okay. I am going to do primeval awareness. If I can.
Okay.
So
you absolutely
that would
can.
be my bonus action to throw Hunter's Mark on it. Then I guess my action will be primeval awareness.
Yeah.
So I will put that on screen. There we go. Yeah, just seeing if there's any Gribblies out front. Trying to be able to get. Is it aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead?
You get, and it's within a mile. You get a very, very faint like waft of dragon coming from behind you, which you think might be the lingering
Silvarius.
Hydra. Well, thinking slightly more behind you. The Hydra.
Bath.
You get also a vague. It's odd. With your hunter's mark, you're sort of locked onto this creature. It's moving in the water. And I don't know that you've ever had the opportunity to kind of pair these two abilities together in this way. And as you focus, you're getting conflicting messages. It's sort of registering a little in the realm of aberration and elemental. But neither feels quite right. But it's the way that you have sort of practiced and understood how these creatures, how you sort of sense these creatures. You're sensing something there, but it's none of it feels like you're used to.
So is that what, like, is it sort of coming from like that general direction?
Yeah, this is an unusual situation where, because you're so hyper focused on this one creature, you're confident that this specific feeling is related to that creature.
Okay. I'll shout out as best I can. There's something weird up ahead. And I will probably ready my bow. I won't take any shots at it or anything like that, but I'm like doing what I do, which is just getting ready for battle.
Understood. Okay. There's no roll for that. It's just a prep phase, but you are understood to be ready and prepared.
I'm doing good by like actually not contributing anything here.
I mean, sometimes not failing is a success in and of itself, you know?
Yeah, remember that, everybody.
A set.
Yeah, so I guess since Lachlan and Nina haven't really started to do anything, she will see the purple blob Hydra body and see if it does it. She would kind of know her strength. It doesn't look like something she may be able to do by herself, or could she at least start to move it by herself, or should she? Is she gonna have to get out? Like, would she know just based on the size of it?
She would think, yes, probably some assistance would be beneficial.
And the two crew members don't look particularly strong.
They're not weedy. It would be very hard to be active in this line of work without having a certain amount
yeah.
of built up
Yeah,
strength.
that's a good point. Okay.
So
Well,
it might be wiry strength, but there's some strength there.
yeah, okay. Well, she'll call them over there unless when the captain sees them come up, unless the captain directs them somewhere, then she'll kind of lead them over that way to help, and anybody else who, doesn't have anything else to do, I guess.
Understood. So yes, Lachlan and Nina are sort of a bit clueless as they come up, and are happy for some direction. So they will assist in this endeavor. I'll throw the option open to Claire and Smokey. You see Cosette moving over to do this. Is that something you'd want to be involved in as well?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Here's what we'll do.
Or do we see it because of the fog?
Sorry, say that again?
Or do we see it because of the fog?
Yes. So the fog has mostly dispersed at this point.
Okay.
So yes, the Cassette, Lachlan, and Nina are sort of emerge into the remnants of the fog, and so are a little unaware of what's going on, but are able to be involved. If all of you are doing this, here's what I'll say. Cassette, you would have been at disadvantage. I'll give you a straight roll based on the assistance of Lachlan and Nina. If Smokey and Claire also wish to be involved, I'll give you guys a choice. You can either have one roll at advantage, or 3 straight rolls, which could be anywhere from 3 successes to 3 failures. I'll leave it up to you exactly how you want to do it.
I don't know which one's technically better. I just, it scares me with the possible 3 failures. I mean, I get a +5. I don't have any bonus to athletics, but I do have a +5.
I would say, yeah,
So,
with advantage.
I mean, that's a guaranteed success pretty much with advantage, you would think, anyway. But keep in mind, I'm rolling. So,
Never is there a scarier phrase in D&D than that's a guaranteed success.
I have -1.
Does that mean
Right.
that Smokey's accidentally trying to pull where everybody else is trying to push?
He thinks he's being helpful.
Smokey was going for the pivot.
Exactly.
Pivot. Okay.
then I think it would lean to the advantage.
that seems the consensus. All right, Cosette, you may roll with advantage. Athletic.
All right, and once again, I'd just like to point out it seems to be a guaranteed thing.
Doubling down. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Salt in the open wound.
Jinxie.
Oh, 14. I rolled a 9 and a 6.
You see what you almost did there?
Yeah, I mean, it was guaranteed.
Yeah.
I can confirm. That is a success.
The grimace is off the boat.
So, the 5 of you move alongside the large body. There are at least legs to hold on to try and grab, and a tail. So, you slowly roll it over the fence. Seems wrong. What's the word?
Rail?
The rail. Thank you. I knew fence was wrong. The
boat
5 of you
fence.
managed to slowly push the Hydra over the rail and eliminate a potential very risky entity that could have caused significant damage had it started rolling around crazily. You are now up to 5 successes. And Silveris. Oh, let me get rid of Grimace. Because apparently we're calling it. There we go. Silveris.
Okay.
What would you like to do this round, if anything?
Would I have? Well, yeah. Barter said there was something in the water. I forgot earlier to ask about Kedox. Does he just act on my turn?
Yes, if you want to, if you want him to do something, I would say for ease, it would be either of you could do a thing.
Okay.
He should be out here, shouldn't he? Let's grab Kedox. He was previously out. Oh, I've put him on the wrong layer. He was previously out on deck, I think, at the end of the combat. So if you wanted to just leave him there, you could. Or you could have instructed him to move however you want. If you just want him to hang with you, that's perfectly acceptable as well.
No. If once Barder kind of said there's something in the water, Savaris would inquire, just abruptly wow, and assuming Barder would kind of point to the location, Savaris will just kind of flick his hand out and have Kedox take flight over to that area and channel light through Kedox to try to make whatever mystery thing in the water more noticeable or visible or identifiable.
Gotcha.
Keeping about 20 feet above the water.
First of all, you've just created secret option number 6 for a location.
Uh-huh.
There we go. If you would please move Kedox into that area.
Now known as Sea Docks.
Nice. Yeah, you can see clearly now, looking over where the shapes are, what appears to be a fin sticking out of the water. And that's definitely where Bardur is looking.
Ooh, fin.
And again, I would say this is a it's not a roll for this, so it wouldn't count as a success or failure. You've just illuminated the situation quite literally.
Okay.
High five. We'll do something. Promise.
You may now relocate yourselves for the beginning of round 3. As it stands, present needs, threats, whatever, you believe that there is a potential risk to the ship in some form from the sea. There are still concerns about navigation and about potential damage to the ship if things start to shift in the hold. Yep, that's it. Those are the 3 current concerns.
I'm sticking up top.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the forecastle.
Can we? So we with the storm, we can't really hear too well
Correct.
from one zone to the other, right?
I would say probably in the main deck, you can hear pretty much everything. But from rigging to main deck works, rigging to quarter deck not so much, rigging to forecastle not so much.
Okay. Yeah, because I think Cosette's gonna kind of look to the captain for direction, so she could ask and hear from where she's at.
Yes.
Okay. Then I think I'll stay.
And so far as stay on the forecastle with Barder.
Alrighty. The storm does seem to be intensifying. The pitching and rolling and so on is getting more severe. Getting harder to keep strong footing. Cosette, please roll a d20.
Got it.
Roll me something fun.
11.
Okay. Couple things happen. First of all, from the water, you see leaping up onto the forecastle and quarterdeck. I say you, and I see C. People in the forecastle and quarterdeck see two shapes leap up.
No way.
They begin their leap as large fish propelling themselves out of the water. Mid-leap, their form shifts, tail split and turn into legs, though the face with razor-sharp teeth remains. At either end of the ship, you now have a clear and present danger. A large bipedal creature. Shark man shark, something like that. A little hard to tell.
The Quipper's revenge.
They appear to be armed with tridents and very sharp and unpleasant teeth. Additionally, in the water, large pieces of driftwood, possibly remains of a ship less fortunate than your own, smash into the hull. Claire, in the hold, you see 6 holes start spraying water into the hold. As large pieces of wood splinter through the relatively hard exterior of the boat. The hold is taking on water. Bardur. It is up to you to decide what happens next.
Well, I assume they look angry.
Yeah, I'll give you that one for free.
Not here to like talk and have a good time.
Yes, that would be accurate.
Okay. I am. Is my hunter's mark on this one in front of me?
Yes, I would say that it is, in fact, on the one in front of you.
Oh, convenient. Okay. Well, I am going to... Yeah, how far away is it?
It's probably only about 10 feet from you.
Okay. I'll, So, would this be considered the first round of combat?
So, the way this will work is it's still part of the trial. Defending the ship would be an action for that turn, and fighting off these guys.
Okay.
Difference is, these guys fight back, unlike the sail. So, to that end, you're still... it's still essentially a skill check to hit them.
Okay.
And so, just as before, missing would be a failure.
Okay. Well, I will. I guess I'm gonna just go ahead and knock an arrow quickly, and just take a shot at it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead and take a shot.
Okay. Let's see. Would Hunter's Mark apply in this situation?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Make sure. Okay. All right. So yeah, just I will pull out an arrow. Just do my normal stance, pulling my draw string back to my chin, and try to be as calm as I can in the midst of the storm here. And even though it's rocking back and forth, in between breath, taking a shot. And 19.
Okay.
Let's see. So then that would be what, 15 total?
Yes,
I
I would say.
I don't know if you're doing that for this, but
Yeah, damage is sort of abstract in this situation. That's obviously a meaty hit. Realistically, obviously, this is we're having to get a little loosey-goosey with some of the rules here. Because obviously 30 minutes is quite long for combat. Imagine a combat that lasted 30 minutes.
in D&D,
In D&D.
it would take years to
What is
complete.
it? Is it 10 rounds a minute?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 300 rounds.
Forever.
So yes, the impact is that yes, it does indeed get hit. The flip side of that is that it hits back. So it closes the distance and it attempts to bite you. It rolls very well. As a 26 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Oh my goodness. And as it's biting you, it brings the trident in for a crit.
Okay.
So, a couple of things. Do you, by any chance, no, that's not the right question. So, yes, it chomps down, razor sharp teeth, latching onto your shoulder. And as it does, it brings a trident round into your back. A wave of pain courses through you. I'm going to need you to do a couple of things.
Okay.
First of all, make a concentration check for Hunter's Mark.
Sure. It's con save, right?
Yes.
Mm, 10.
Okay. Secondly, make another concentration check for Hunter's Mark. That just saved.
21.
That definitely saved. Third, I'm going to need you to mark down some damage.
Okay.
The bite does 19 piercing.
Good gracious.
The trident does a further 17.
Okay. That's a lot.
Yes. Finally, as you feel that pain running through your body, something feels off where the teeth have sunk in. I'm going to need you to make a final Constitution saving throw.
Is this poison related potentially?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Also, is he within 10 feet? Probably not, right?
No, he wouldn't have been.
Okay.
Let's see. So, what is this? Hold on. Oops, I didn't... Okay, so I hit that on accident, but the Dwarven Resilience, I don't know if that will qualify in this circumstance or not. But
If you keep posting it, I'm sure I'll give it to you.
I only hit it once, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, this one is 7 for the Constitution.
Okay. You feel unpleasant. There is just pain radiating from the bite in your shoulder. And you stagger briefly to a knee.
Okay.
But bite back to your feet. Your hunter's mark remains and is very much fixated on this shark in front of you. Shark man thing. For now, you remain. Your health is obviously not great. You are bleeding profusely all over the deck. But yeah, that would be the end of your turn. As the storm rages on, shapes in the water start swirling around the front and the back of the ship. Just as Claire in the hold hears splintering wood and looks around to see water flooding in, Bardor turns to the front and sees a large humanoid-ish shark-type creature, bipedal shark man thing with a trident, I think. Pretty sure I described it with the trident. And Smokey at the back on the quarterdeck, where Captain Adard is trying to steer the ship. A second similar creature has emerged. Cassette right now on the main deck is aware of threats both fore and aft. Cassette, what are you going to do?
Okay, we can move from one... Like, since I'm kind of centralized on the main deck, I can move to anywhere in one turn?
Yes, so, I mean, essentially, the situation you find yourself in is that you are in an area with no danger beyond the storm itself. So, you're not currently able to directly intervene in either one because you're not in that area.
Okay. So,
But you could potentially do something to affect that if you can think of something that you think would be beneficial.
Yeah, gotcha. So I'm going to move... She's going to see kind of... oh, Mark is on our side, correct?
Yes, that is the first mate.
Okay.
The green dragonborn with a South African accent for reasons.
Oh, that's true. So without knowing their capabilities, and that's Smokey in the quarterdeck with them?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to move back there. Kind of with the attempt to shield or protect the crew of the ship, thinking Well, and Smokey too. So I don't know if that like matters where we're at, but I try to get as close between them and the creature as possible.
Okay.
Would I be able to attack after all that? Or would that use most of my...
I would say, obviously, again, we're sort of taking liberties with the way combat works here, because it's theoretically 30 minutes, and this combat would realistically last, I don't know, 4 rounds, 5 rounds at most? Hard to know, but certainly not 30 minutes. So we're taking liberties with the way that D&D works as a concept here. But, hey-ho. So for the purposes of this, I would say you wouldn't be able to attack because you were in the wrong sector.
Okay.
But I would say that you could impose disadvantage using your protection.
Okay, that's the priority for her. If she could attack, that'd be great. But really, the priority is trying to protect them.
And I will say that you can choose to protect one of those 3. So give me a specific.
Could I, maybe with a check, be able to tell who may be the least combat savvy, or maybe the least protected with what they're wearing, that type of thing, or just in general have an inkling of that?
You
if not, then I'll go for the captain.
I will give you a non-trial based insight check.
Okay. Oh, I think I had...
That's fine. It just rolled.
Advantage,
I'll just take the first one.
Okay. So 18?
So what'd you get? 18. Okay. You think... So, well, you've already seen Smokey involved in the fight with Hydra. Pretty good feeling about that. Marka, you didn't really get to see how effective they are in combat on account of they got bit by a Hydra and dropped. So, hard to gauge. I would say with this, what you can see is that Adard is paying no attention to the danger around them, and is focused purely on trying to keep the ship steady.
Okay.
And as such is the most vulnerable.
Okay. Then I'll try to protect him.
Okay.
Also, I'm realizing I don't have a weapon, do I?
Actually, I think you
should have your flail.
Yes, you do. It got summoned.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember. And if I remember correctly, my shield is a barrel lid.
Yes, I believe
so
that's
I can
correct.
improvise shield. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can use that for your protection ability.
Okay. I think that's what she's going to try to do.
Okay. In that case, on to Claire. So, Claire, reminder. You went down into the hold. You and Cassette tried to rally the troops down there, I believe. Cassette convinced the 2 other crew members, Lachlan and Nina, to head up on top of the deck. And before you really had a chance to act upon that, the ship has been skewered by some sort of stray debris, presumably from another ship that got caught in the storm. And there is now water coming into the hold from 6 different holes.
How large and how aggressive is the... Like, how large are the holes and how aggressive is the water flow?
So, the holes, I would say, are probably about, I'd say, give or take a square foot. And obviously they're not completely square, but
Yeah.
you get the idea. I would say probably, let's say, 4 of them are about that large and are pretty aggressive. And then there's a couple of smaller ones that are a steady flow, but definitely not as concerning as the other 4.
Okay. And our turns in this are the same time as a round of combat, or is it longer? I can't remember.
Oh, it's all very loosey-goosey.
Okay. Because I think her first instinct would be to trying to think of who she would do it to. I know she's definitely going to cast Sending.
Okay.
And I honestly think she'd probably send it to, she'd direct it to Solarius, I think.
Huh. An in-character moment.
So yeah, just kind of standing and looking around in pure panic. She clutches the holy symbol at her neck, clamps her eyes shut, and quickly just sends off to Silvarius. Holes! Lots of holes! Lots of water! And that's it, because she's a panicky princess and doesn't think clearly.
And you can reply to Sending, correct?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you get the
Yeah.
25 words back. So Silvarius, you may reply.
He would hear this, and in the situation that he is in, up there with Bardur getting chompy chomped, he, in the moment, he just, he thinks back to her.
It's a bit complicated, but I'll see what I can do.
And go with that for now.
Okay. I will, because I feel like sending a message does not take very long. So I'll give you the option of doing a thing if you want to do a thing. If you don't think she would do a thing, then that's
So
fine.
there was definitely a thing that she would also do.
Okay.
So hearing Silvarius' voice in her head, kind of gets her a little bit centered, knowing that at least someone else knows what's going on up above and she's not 100% alone in this situation. She would look around and try to figure out probably which one of the holes is contributing the most water, and run over to it, put her hands on the boards, and start trying to cast mending on the board of the ship.
Okay. I will give you a choice here. You can, for a free success, you can fix a hole.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can roll a suitable skill check, which would be well, I'll say yes, you can roll a suitable skill check. If you pass, you will get 2 successes.
Ooh.
Because I will say that she would be putting through extra effort to try and patch up multiple holes during this time slot. but it's complicated insofar as, like, Claire would know, spell for mending, you're really supposed to be putting the same thing back together again. And so there's the complex situation of trying to find the bits that broke off from the right areas to try to patch the holes up properly using mending. So I think you could make arguments for a couple of different skills, but that's your call if you want to gamble.
Oh, I feel. Part of me wants to, but I kind of feel like in this situation, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna take the one hole at a time.
Alrighty. So, you achieve a success
I have not rolled.
without needing a
I
roll.
have not rolled my dice enough yet to know whether I trust my virtual dice yet tonight or not.
Oh, we didn't pre-roll.
I know I forgot to pre-roll, so.
Okay. So, 7th success achieved without the need for a roll. And you now have water up to your knees. Just so you know.
I don't know. I've seen the Titanic a bunch. I think this is going a little fast. It took hours.
Bigger ship. Rougher seas. There's a lot of mitigating factors here. No one said this was an unsinkable ship.
So that's hindering us.
In fact, they were saying how sinkable it was before we left. Man, that thing's
Yes.
gonna go down.
Never mind water not getting past 4 bulkheads. They get past half a bulkhead. Done. Pretty sure it was 4 bulkheads. I watched it not that long ago. Which is to say, I don't know, in the last 2 years. I feel like it was 4 bulkheads is where it was a problem. Okay. Smokey.
Yes.
You, on the quarterdeck, I believe you just went up to try and help the captain, and then you see this creature. It is a lot of teeth, little dark beady eyes, rough skin, and it is staring malevolently and walking towards where the captain and the first mate are standing at the helm.
Okay, so it's on the ship.
It is on the ship, and it is menacing.
Okay. Okay, that changes my plan. I'm sorry. I thought he was in the water for some reason. I had a plan of what I was going to do, and now I'm not going to do that.
And this would have been, I don't think you would have ever seen anything like this. These creatures, like, were in the water and leapt out of this roiling sea onto the quarterdeck. I mean, that's high up. So it had to have been able to generate pretty immense speed to be able to push itself out of the water so far that it could land on the deck like that.
Okay. What? I think I'm going to use my druid shape feature.
Okay.
And I'm trying to decide what I'm going to turn into.
So let's see, you are level 6, so wild shape. Man, it occurs to me that I haven't DM'd a druid in a very long time. So you can do what, CR2 right now?
Yeah.
Let's
Let's Maybe I should.
And can have a swimming speed. So that's nice.
Smokey's gonna turn into a crocodile.
Oh my goodness, yes. Love it.
It looks like that
can I give-
crocodile is spinning out of the sky down from the storm cloud.
This suddenly has turned into a bad Sci-Fi Channel movie.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna move Smokey.
Who's got a
off
chainsaw?
there.
Who's got a chainsaw?
We got shark people.
oh
All
boy.
we need is a tornado. Just saying.
I'm just gonna sort of shuffle you over here a bit. Okay. So you are over there. I'm just trying to make it so your name's visible too. So you are now in croc form.
Yes.
Do I have the stats? Oh.
If not, I can screenshot to you.
Oh yeah, I got him. We're good.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm gonna need you to fuck that. Oh boy. I was like, did you do a giant crocodile? No, those are CR5. Yikes. Giant crocodiles you do not mess with. Okay. Yep, I have your new form here.
Okay. And I will make my way towards the creature.
Okay. As you do so, you see Cassette hurry up the stairs and position herself as best she can between the creature and your captain. Here, why don't we just shimmy them forward a little bit to make this easier? I mean, it's all a little, fake, but... Cassette, as you jump up, you see the cat turn into a crocodile.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You had to make a sanity check or anything?
I'll leave that up to your personal interpretation. If you feel like you should take one, by all means roll. Okay. So, would you like to do anything else? Smokey 2.
Do I have the ability to try to snap at this thing and bite him?
Oh, goodness me, yes.
Okay. I'll try to bite him. Oh, how does this work on roll 20 though? How do I roll? Or do I just roll regular dice?
Just roll regular dice and we can just manually
Okay.
adjust.
So do I get any...
You mean you haven't made a character specifically for every possible wild shape you could turn into? Disappointing.
Well, I know I'm going to roll a d20, so I'll go ahead and do that.
Yes, that is safe.
Oh, that's not good.
Or
Yeah,
is
that's
it?
not safe at all.
Well,
Just roll 20. You'll do fine. That's all you gotta do.
Okay, well, that's a 3 on the dice.
it's a 3 on the dice, and
Pretty
It
sure
needs to be a big
crocodile's
plus.
modifier is like plus 19.
See, that's the giant crocodile you're thinking of. This one is a -7.
what would it?
So-
What would my plus be?
It should
well,
have a
if you're
plus
going for the bite, then it's
Oh,
got
okay.
the +4 to hit.
Yeah.
It looks
Okay. 7.
like. Okay. First things first. We now have one failure. So Smokey, you scuttle up with pretty decent speed to this shark creature and try to jump and grab, and not only do you miss, but you catch a trident in the back for good measure. Well, I say that. You might catch a trident in the back. It is a 15 to hit.
That hits.
You catch a trident in the back, and you feel the sharp prong squeezing in behind your scales. Your crocodile form takes 9 points of piercing damage.
Ouch.
Is that
Oh.
you? Is that what the crocodile says?
Yeah. Well, that's probably not what you hear, but that's
Okay.
what Smokey says.
Oh.
Translated.
Crocodile technically has no languages, I'm afraid. So the crocodile does not say that.
It would just be
I'll allow.
where it says hit points, it says
yes.
19, and then it says 3d10 plus 3. What does that mean?
So the 19 is like the average. Technically, they came up with the ability for you to roll, just like for players where you can roll your hit dice, or roll dice for your hit points.
Yes.
You can do that with every creature you have in the game.
Okay. Are we just going to operate off the 19 then, or do you want me to
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I've ever encountered anyone who has ever actually rolled hit points for creatures.
That sounds like one of those fun gamble things, though. Like every time,
It does.
every time she wild shape, you could check when she wild shapes if she wants to take the average or roll. That could be fun.
You can calculate
totally
it
on
really
board with
easy
that.
on Roll20.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, if you want to roll, I have no problems with that, and I actually like that as a concept.
Based off of my first roll, I will just stick with the 19.
That's fine. So yes, you are you're not feeling great, and you were unable to subdue the creature. It is also going to attempt to bite at the captain, but with Cosette there, this will be a disadvantage.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, is use my protection.
Yeah, I figured as much, and I'm happy to let that be factored in.
Cool.
So, oh, that is a natural 1.
Nice.
Thanks to disadvantage. So, Cassette, you sort of stand in the breach essentially, and you see this sharky creature dodge the giant chomp of this crocodile, stab down, and then lurch forwards towards the captain. And as it goes to bite, you just take the like barrel lid or something, and you just wedge it in its jaw. And it gets wood splinters in its mouth, and because it rolled a natural 1, that grants you a success.
Yay.
So you have actually managed to effect a success by virtue of imposing disadvantage.
Cool.
So you're now at 8 successes, 1 failing. So. Oh. Okay, hold on. I think I remember what I was doing there. Okay. So. Let's see. We'll be moving into the 4th round. Now, if I remember correctly, I was going in reverse order, which means I believe it's Bardor's turn to roll a d20 to see if there are any complications this round.
Okay. Oh, yay. 1.
Oh, no.
Way to go, James. Bardor.
Clap.
1 could be
Sure
good.
that that's
1
bad.
could be good.
It is a random chart.
Mm-hmm. Thoughts and prayers.
The storm rages on. The ship lurches awkwardly. Adart, now aware that there is a threat on the quarterdeck, does her best to maintain the vague heading that had been picked out by Eska, I believe. Nothing else happens this turn.
See?
His turn.
You got lucky. Okay, so Silverius, what would you like to do?
Okay.
It's still turn 3.
Turn 3.
round 3, whatever we're calling this thing. I don't know.
How much? Because we're kind of like free flowing up here on the forecastle.
Exactly. Yes.
And having heard what I heard from Claire, now I know there's threats, technically, well, somewhat threats of differing sorts on multiple areas.
Yes.
And I can probably, I assume I can look at Bardur, who's visually in a chomped state.
Yes. He is in a chomped state. That is accurate.
Can I attempt to kind of impose myself in between Bardur and Fishman, and equally like aggressive, snarly face, he's just gonna mutter,
I'm already tired of you.
and he's gonna reach one hand forward and clench his fist and send out a thunder wave, trying to knock this guy off the actual ship.
Okay. Yes, you may. For the purpose of this, because that's a saving throw normally,
Yes.
doesn't really make sense for the context of a trial. So, you can...
And he'll be doing this at level 2. Sorry.
Okay. In that case, let's have a we'll make it a spell attack roll. I'm gonna give you a +1 for upcasting.
Oh.
And so you're still just trying to beat the established DC.
D20.
Yes. So, boy, that's damaging.
Alright. 10 plus anything?
Yes. Plus your... So, just, as if you were casting a regular attacky spell.
Should be 16.
Okay. So first of all, we mark that as a success.
Woo.
As you pass the DC. Secondly of all, I'm going to roll a Constitution saving throw right now. What's the DC for that, please?
I don't know why it's not calculated on my page. Hold on. It's 8 plus proficiency plus intelligence.
DC 0. DC 0, Phil.
It does say DC 0. Okay, I think I can pass that.
That's a lie. That's very untrue.
That's what it says.
Don't listen to Rich.
I mean, it does say that.
No,
though.
no.
It's not listening to Rich so much as just reading with my eyes.
Read with your ears.
So yeah, 8 plus proficiency plus, yes, I guess it would be intelligence.
Okay.
Would be your that. So is that 14?
Yes, 14.
Oh dear. So you reach out and push forward, and there's a part of you that's a little sad because the sound of your thunder wave just gets completely lost in the storm. The impact of your thunder wave, however, is pretty dramatic. You see the creature in front of you hurtled backwards off the front of the ship and into the sea.
Yay.
That was a natural 2 on the dice. Bye-bye. I will say, there probably is a little bit of damage to the forecastle. At the very least, the sort of rail area would have been smashed as the creature goes bursting through it, over quay docks and into the water. But yeah, you have for now pushed this creature off of the ship.
Acceptable collateral damage.
I was gonna say, at this point, who cares about a railing?
Yeah.
It feels a very small concern. I would agree. Okay.
And
So yeah, that's a thing that happened. I guess technically you were there now.
Who cares about a railing? We say as Bardura gets flung by the thunder wave through the gap in the railing.
No, please.
it's like, I wish there was railing.
Eska, you are at the top of the mast in the crow's nest.
Does he
so
have an initiative round? Or is he his own a different thing?
Fair.
Just
Yes,
just
you
wondering
can.
if he goes
You can activate key docs.
if he goes with Silvarius or if he goes
He does. Yes.
Okay.
He was checking out the water. Is anything discernible?
does he see anything flying past?
Yeah, there's a new dark shape in the water.
I was say, I'm really surprised Kedox didn't actually just get hit with the flying.
The flyby?
I mean, there's always a potential, but
Resummon
he's
your
fine for now.
familiar.
But every
again.
spellcaster loves. 10 gold again.
Yeah. So he sees the creature enter the water. If you want, you can have him kind of try to keep tabs on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a non-trial perception check. See if you can keep tabs.
I'll be there one day. How do you play this game again?
Well, we should all have real dice for starters.
Yes. Key doc perception 13.
Okay. He is certainly doing his best to keep track of the shape as it enters the water and then starts moving around.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he's tracking it.
Very good.
Okay. So, that is the end of round 3.
Wait.
What about?
Eska.
Oh, fine, Eska.
Well, depending, is Eska going to do something this time?
Right.
Could I also just inform Barter that there's also problems with Claire under the ship, just to start spreading the word?
Yes.
Okay.
That's reasonable. You're right next to him.
Esker is going to try something.
Okay.
So seeing the commotion at the back of the boat and the front of the boat, but that seems to be taken care of. She glances back and sees the creature, and she just she closes her eyes and looks up. Well, I guess like tilts her face up to the storm, and as the raindrops hit her, they begin to sort of crystallize into ice on her face, and she channels that energy and reaches out a hand and attempts to levitate the creature at the back of the boat.
Okay. Could you pop levitate into the chat for me?
Yes, I can.
So don't have your character sheet open right now. Thank y'all. Okay. So, unwilling creature. Save. Alright. Again, I think for this, let's... the main reason I'm not doing the saving throw is so that your fate is in your hands, not in my hands.
Alright.
So that's why I'm doing it that way, just for clarity. So same with the Thunderwave.
I'm casting
so
this
if you
at
will
9th
also
level.
You don't have one of those.
Oh, right.
If you could, do it as a spell attack again.
Alright, here we go. That is going to be a 17.
Okay. First things first. That is a success.
Hooray!
Second thing second. You watch Cassette and Crocodile as this creature is there in front of you, and then as it's looking to start chowing down on everything around it, you just see it. Like, you see ice form around it, and then it gets hefted 20 feet up into the air.
And she's basically going to keep concentration on that, and she's going to raise her hand the entire time it takes for it to get 60 feet away, and just keep raising it until, you know, as high as possible, until it goes out of range.
Okay. Yeah, because obviously we're on a moving ship.
Yeah.
So it's complicated. Understood. You think that whatever happens, it will not be landing on the ship.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it'll
Okay.
go out to 60 feet. I don't know how
And then
far up I
slowly
can
drop
get
down.
it before it drops.
Probably not very.
No, because it's going to go out of range fast.
Yeah. But it is now down in the water as well, essentially. I need to move Smokey. Just go hide down here. You can be a success for now.
It floats gently down
So,
as
yeah.
well, so it'll actually take it a couple of rounds to actually get down to the water.
Exactly. It will indeed take it a little bit of time. So there are now no mean shark creatures on the ship.
Yeah.
It's much better than it looked.
For now. Definitely. That has changed the complexion pretty significantly. Okay, so that is the end of
Officially the end.
third round. Beginning of the fourth round. There's no new complication. I'm not going to make you roll a new dice. That would be mean. Although also tempting. But now you may relocate yourselves as you see
can only
fit.
move one. Was it the no?
No. No, I think there was just fog complications previously,
Okay.
where if you moved, you would have disadvantage on rolls. You can freely move to any part of
Alright,
the ship
well,
right now.
Then I'll run down into the hold.
Okay. As you get down there, you feel like you run down the stairs, and you are immediately knee-deep in water. And water is rushing in from 3 fairly sizable holes, plus a couple other smaller holes. And you just see Claire looking probably slightly manic, I would guess, at this point.
Probably. I'm guessing like the hair is like falling out of her braid. She's wet. Like her eyes are bugging out of her head.
If I'm no good.
I would be honest, if you didn't say the eyes were bugging out of her head during that description, I would have been shook. Because that's a trademark Claire
is.
thing.
She's so shook that her eyes aren't bugging out.
Right, they're going inward. Like her eyes
Oh no!
have shrunk into her skull.
Yeah,
Like on a character creator, when you push it all the way in, and the eyes just kind of like go in like 3 inches.
But I will say, is this like I'm guessing knee height. There are 2 dwarves down here. So is the knee height maybe not as
You've both drowned.
It's knee high to a dwarf. Yes.
Okay.
It's all right.
ankle high to a giant Silvarius.
I walk in and it's like
Yeah,
barely
I
covering
know.
my
He's
foot.
like, this isn't that bad.
Somebody
It's chin high to a crocodile.
Somebody
So
let
it's
He's
all
like,
relative.
Smokey needs to know so that she can go down and swim. Well, he can go down and swim in it. You probably have a
No.
grand old time down there.
Yeah. Yeah, Smokey probably could swim with a bit of effort.
I mean, if I was running,
Well, he's in crocodile form,
so-
so he can swim really well right now.
I was about to say, if a cat turns into a crocodile, how does it feel about water?
It feels pretty good.
Okay. In the moment.
In the moment of being the crocodile, yes.
But it also depends on what kind of cat it was originally.
Very
Is
true.
it like a house cat or is it like a big cat? Because a lot of big cats.
They do.
This is true.
And some weird house cats.
That is very
Yeah.
true too.
Turn the sink
I've
on.
never had one of them, but I know they exist.
The internet says so.
Yeah. All right, so Bardor has gone into the hold. Anyone
I
else
would,
moving?
yell at the
Well-
guys that are on the deck. No, it's
Sorry.
okay. I would yell at the guys on the deck that there's a flood down below as I'm passing by. That I would say
they
there's
what?
a flood down below to the other crew members that are on the main deck. Try to get them to
Okay.
follow down. As they keep running up and down.
Okay.
I feel like they're just being told to go places, and as soon as they go somewhere, somebody tells them to go somewhere else. They're just running around pointlessly.
The Two Stooges.
Yeah.
How evident is it from everyone else that the ship might be sinking? Or is it too little in the hold for it to be noticeable up top?
Yes. That one.
Okay. What?
Especially given how much the ship is sort of pitching and rolling. Any concept of like how high you're sitting in the water is it's just impossible to gauge.
Okay.
Panic water for dwarf, not panic water for anyone else on board currently.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I feel like it'd be reminiscent of Robin Hood when Little John is like drowning in the river and he just like Robin Hood stands next to him and just puts him on his feet. I feel like if we go down there, that's what we need to do with Claire. She's kind of like swishing around in like 2 feet of water. Like,
I mean, to be fair, if it's 2 feet of water, that is like half.
That's most.
it's pretty high.
That's
Yeah.
like waist to boob height on her potentially. So that's getting pretty deep.
Well, I think Smokey would kind of see what Captain Addard would say if there's any direction coming from the captain.
The captain right now is still focused on the helm and is kind of looking at you with alarm because that's not something she's seen happen before.
Uh-oh.
So that's a little disconcerting.
Wait, say that again?
The captain hasn't seen Smokey turn into a crocodile before.
okay. I thought I missed something happening to the boat. Okay.
There's probably some eyes bugging out.
So
to be
Adder
honest.
makes a
Hey,
sanity check.
hey now, that is trademark.
Might be the name of your brew.
But I'll stay in my
Bug-eyed
crocodile form to make sure, just in case anything pops up
Bug-eyed
again.
brew.
Okay.
Because
All right. So you're gonna continue to lurk on the quarterdeck.
Yes.
that's going to stay too.
Okay. Eska, you happy in the crow's nest?
I feel like boat captains and crocodiles have a pretty rocky relationship in fiction, so
A ticking
she's
sound.
probably a bit scared. Yeah. Yeah. She's probably having flashbacks. Unless anybody calls her down or anything changes, like the mast falls over, Eska's just going to stay up there and go back to directing. Probably.
So far, the mast hasn't fallen down,
Excellent.
but there's still
That's
time.
it. Notice how he said so far.
So she's staying up there.
What are Silveris and Kedox doing?
With Bardur running to the hold, and it's real noisy up here, isn't it? like super storminess.
Yeah, it's real noisy everywhere. Yeah, like I said, your thunder wave was audible to you, but you were confident it didn't carry very well.
Yeah, it blended in with the cacophony of...
Yeah, no doubt Eska probably saw, like, while she was deciding who do I need to focus on, she would have just seen that one guy just go
Yeah.
and disappear.
So I was... Yeah, we left most of our gear back in... Well... I apologize because I'm having... Did I bring this thoughts?
Okay, let me check while you were thinking that.
I think I would have brought it, and I don't even know if it would work up here. But if you're wondering what I'm doing on the ship, I'm planning on staying still.
Okay,
At the
that's fine.
forecastle. Sorry for taking so long on that.
And Kedox is just going to keep monitoring the shape for now,
Yeah, just keeping
as best he can.
an early eye on everything.
Okay. He lets you know that he is struggling to keep up with it,
Okay,
but he's trying.
I'll tell him try harder.
Oh, mean.
Okay, in that case, I think we are on to the actual actions. So, Cassette.
Yeah, so she'll ask the captain, is there anything I can do to help? Not seeing, I mean, I'm assuming we don't see any threats right this second.
Up here right now, you see no immediate threat.
Okay.
Correct. The captain doesn't turn to look at you. She's very focused. She just says, if anything comes back, keep it away from me.
Okay. So what she's going to do is she's not going to cast it, but she's going to prepare to cast Sanctuary on the captain. It only lasts for a minute, so it doesn't make sense to like precast it, but if there's a threat, that's kind of the first thing, even if it comes out like immediately attacks him. She's just kind of, making sure that keeping an eye out for threats, and then also just ready to cast that. I think it's 30 feet, so I think she's good anywhere she's up there. Other than that, I don't think she's going to actively do anything right this second.
Okay, that's fine. We go back to Claire in the hold. So Bador has splashed down with you. You've so far dealt with one of the holes to the point where just a trickle is coming in. It's not a perfect seal job. You couldn't find all of the splinters, but you found enough of the original pieces to seal the hole up to the point where it's no longer threatening.
Hearing someone coming down the stairs, she just kind of whips around with a manic expression on her face, not even fully recognizing probably who else has even joined her, and just yells over the noise, "Find whatever you can and start plugging the holes." And she will move on to the next hole.
Okay. Same thing?
Yes.
Just amending a one? Okay. Does qualify as another success. Give me a either perception or insight at disadvantage.
Okay. Give me
This will not count towards the trial.
15 minutes while I try to navigate. You said either insight or perception?
Or perception, yes. Whichever you fancy. Or medicine.
we're gonna, just because insight and medicine are the same, we're gonna go medicine because I never get to click on it.
Excellent.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
Wow.
okay. 25 for both.
Alrighty. So Claire is still in that weird situation where real world experience hasn't caught up to the level of training she's received. I think that's probably a fair assessment.
Always.
And as she is frantically looking around trying to find pieces to plug this next hole, parts of her brain are just looking at Bardor and are working in the background. And first of all, you look at him and there's a part of you that registers, even with the amount of water and stuff, he's a lot redder than he should be. He's definitely bleeding badly from a wound. And it's bad enough that the rain hasn't been able to wash it all away. And secondly, he is he appears to be less sure on his feet than you would expect him to be, despite the fact that the ship is obviously very unstable.
Ooh. I'm looking at it. Because I'm trying to remember if we... Oh, we left so much stuff behind.
Sure.
Oh.
Laura stuff.
Because I know she's got her fancy little potion box, but I really don't know if she would have brought it with her because it's so bulky. But I'm trying to remember, doesn't everyone have at least one on them?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
Yeah,
what
probably.
I was thinking. So yeah, kind of glancing back and forth between trying to pick up pieces of wood and fitting them in and throwing them over her shoulder when they don't fit. And looking at Bardor, when it finally clicks in her brain that all the red is blood, she pauses what she's doing and with pieces of wood in her hand just turns to him. Do you have a potion?
No.
What do you mean? We all had potions.
I mean, I just start looking around as she's yelling.
And
All right then.
Well,
That's
I'm just saying,
entertaining.
I'm looking around for other stuff while she's like trying to find like hammers and nails and stuff.
Yep. Okay. Claire, I'm going to leave you in that state of panic,
okay,
I think.
that sounds good.
Okay, Smokey. You're currently up in crook form at the helm. Not, well, like, at the helm. Next to the helm. You're helm adjacent.
Can I see into the water from where I am?
I mean, you can shuffle over to the edge and look in, yeah.
Okay, I'll just be kind of scanning the water for those creatures.
Okay. Yeah. You can do that. Do you want to just be in a state of preparedness, or do you want to make an active check to try and look for them?
I just want to be in a state of preparedness.
Understood. Okay. You feel prepared.
Excellent.
So Varys and Kidox. You're up.
In the current state of the forecastle, I don't have. Hold on, yeah, I can do things because we're doing things. That's what we're doing. Things.
Yes.
Because I could just sit there, but
If you wish to do a thing, things can be done. Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna stick to kind of. Oh, yeah, so there's not really much going on, but I did want to. So I was thinking back at when we were departing town, and I was leaving the majority of my gear. I did plan on bringing. I assume it's a smaller magical item, and I was gonna try to use the horn of amplification.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you could definitely hide that on your person and not arouse suspicion.
okay. I was gonna take that out, and not ever having used it, try to use it. It's only ever been used in the caves on me,
Yes.
and was going to basically try to broadcast, simply.
Claire says there's holes in the hold.
And
Okay.
start spreading the news.
Start spreading the news. There's holes in the hole.
I was just confirming. This is not in the DMG, as I suspected. Okay. So, this will not be trial based again. Roll a. Ooh, what would this be?
Arcana. Athletics.
Yes, I agree. Arcana.
Athletics.
To see if you can get the item to behave how you want it to behave.
Ooh. Work. Ooh.
It's good.
The first roll. Wait. Hold on. How's that key doc?
Do you just have Keydog selected at the bottom?
Oh.
Okay. It was still rolling off your sheet. You just changed your name to Keydogs on there. It's fine.
Okay. 22.
22. Okay. So, from you vaguely recall when this item was given to you by Gorbo. Its intended purpose was to fill the available space with loud sound. So it's most effective indoors, because then it has a definable space to fill. Obviously, that's not quite the situation you're in, but you figure that by sort of cupping one hand over the edge, you can kind of manipulate a little bit to still project your voice to a situation where it's loud enough that it can cut through the storm. So, everyone above deck, I think that's the right term, everyone above deck can hear Silverius' declaration of holes in the hold. So, you all now know that information.
Yeah. I did it.
Done.
I will say those in the quarterdeck would notice distinct concern on the face of Adard and Marka. Lachlan and Nina look like they're actually going to move down to the hold now. And they do so.
That's nice of them.
Just in time to get away from whatever's coming next. As is inevitably their way. Yeah. Okay. And then are you just going to sit and monitor for impending doom?
In essence, if I could go as so far to, like, prepare, like if one were to jump back up on the ship, I immediately would like to thunderwave it if I can prepare that much. But really just trying to keep him off the ship for now.
Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't prepare that.
Okay. That's my plan.
That'll be entertaining if and when it happens.
It's gonna keep blowing rails up.
Yep. You're gonna get there, Claire and Bardor are like plugging all these holes in the bottom of the ship, and you're just gonna blow the front of it off.
And that is over 1 square foot of damage, so I can't fix that.
Ideally,
Right,
I'd like to catch
Bardo's
them at
with
a
the Bardorettes.
45-degree angle, like coming out the water, and just send them shooting back.
Maybe they'll clog the holes themselves. Just get stuck right in there.
We will plug the hole of our ship with the bodies of our enemies. Alrighty. I think we're on to Eska then.
Okay. Eska's not going to do anything particularly. She's gonna
Okay.
keep an eye out. But as nothing major's happening, she's just gonna keep looking for the island.
Okay. For now, you feel like you're vaguely still heading in the right kind of direction, but
Yeah, as long as we don't go way off, she'll
Vaguely.
just monitor and hope that we get through the storm.
okay. And Bardor,
My
Your feet are wet. I mean, they were
Yeah.
probably already wet. It's raining up there.
Oh.
Now your feet are really wet,
Gotten
though.
wetter. Okay. Well, I would assume like after a moment of like letting Claire's franticness kick in, I would shout back. Said I gave that potion to Eska a while ago, and then start rummaging around and trying to find hammers and nails and stuff. And curse under my breath that I left behind some of my gear that I think would have been helpful in this circumstance.
Yep. I dare say you had lots of useful things.
So can I look around for some stiff that might
okay.
be helpful?
Yes. You may. So let's see. You have So well let's you need to find things and then presumably use them to try and fix the hole, I'm guessing.
Yes, that is correct.
Is the goal. And so far 2 of the big holes have been filled. So you can make either a perception check to look for supplies, but that would be at disadvantage because it's in such disarray. Or you can roll a what would it be? A skill check of some sort. Basically, you can either try to roll a disadvantage perception to find the tools, and then you would automatically be able to fill the hole, or you can automatically find the tools and then roll to fill the hole with a suitable check. Does that make sense? So you can choose which of the two aspects you want to count as your attempt for
Either
the trial.
Perception or one of my choice that makes sense.
Yes. So the perception would be at disadvantage because it's semi-flooded and hard to find anything down there. The sealing up would be a straight roll because that's just a case of hit things.
I'll try perception because I'm pretty good with it, so I don't think it's going to help, but I'm going to try it.
Okay.
Uh, 21.
He gambled on the disadvantage. It did not let
It
him
wasn't
down.
history.
True. Okay. It takes you a little minute, and you actually recruit Lachlan and Nina to help you because they do know where some of the stuff at least started the journey. Some of the barrels have started to shift a little bit, despite the efforts to contain everything. That was before things started coming through the walls. However, you are able to find some sizable nails. There is more destruction of barrels and crates as you find a piece big enough to cover the hole, and you are able to close up the third of the large holes. So that is the 12th success. One failure so far.
Succeeded in something, guys.
Yeah.
Good work.
And thus ends the 4th round. Loop. So. Let's go. Would you please roll a d20?
Yeah, I will. That's a 12.
That's not a good one.
A 12, you say?
That's exactly what I say.
Can you re-roll?
Oh. Sure. That's, oh dear. That's a 20. That can't be good if one was fine.
Using my basic math skills.
To be fair,
Interesting.
I was paying very close attention to how he worded the results of the one, and he said everything's fine at this round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
the comet that's gonna hit us may just hit us this round.
That's ridiculous.
It spawned last turn. It sped up
exactly.
this turn.
Yeah.
So, the storm picks up in intensity. Wind gets stronger. Eska, for you, this is particularly alarming, as you are currently perched slightly perilously in the crow's nest. But even for those in the quarterdeck, you feel the wind getting stronger. Kedox is having a very hard time hovering safely over the water right now. And as the wind picks up, the waves pick up. The ship starts to roll more aggressively. And there is a very real sense that one big wave from the wrong angle could tip the ship. I'm going to need everybody to make an intelligence saving throw.
Ooh.
As the fear and kind of sense of impending doom starts to crowd out your focus.
Would Smokey get a +2 for my aura?
Yes, I would say Smokey would be within 10 feet to gain a +2.
Cool.
So Varys, he just shrugs his shoulders with his natural 20.
I got an 11.
Yeah, he does.
9.
16.
10.
+2.
Yeah, you get a +2 for being close to me.
Oh, so it would be
So
16,
12.
right?
Wait,
Wait,
+2.
it's 10. It already adds. Okay, I was looking at it because it has the 4 at the bottom. I was like, is that... It's already added in the
Yes,
modifier.
it is factored in that.
I gotcha. Okay, so yeah, 12.
It's worth a shot.
So, Silverius. Cassette. You feel this. For a second, you feel panicked. And then you steel yourself. Smokey, you feel your currently cold blood run very cold. But you see Cosette fight off that terror, and it brings you courage. And you steel yourself as well. So, Smokey, Cosette, Silverius, you're unaffected. Claire, Bardor, Eska. For Claire and Bardor, the water is now, despite you filling the holes, it is now up to about your waist level. And the dread is very much real. You, unlike anyone above you, you understand there is very much an existential threat to you right now. That no matter what they fight off on the deck, it doesn't matter if you cannot plug these holes. Eska. The situation that you have found yourself in is distinctly precarious. It seemed like a great idea at the time. You'd have a good view, you'd be able to intercede where it was necessary. But now you're feeling incredibly exposed as the wind picks up and the rain starts going horizontal. And your icy calm melts. All three of you will be at disadvantage on any checks you make this turn. In the case of mending, we will, for this round, because you're at disadvantage, it would revert to a check.
Okay.
So, Claire, we start the round with you. You are waist high in the water. You do have the two crew members who are helping Bardor, who are also kind of running around, a little panic looking. In fact, let me...
I was like, how panicked are they?
Okay. Lachlan actually looks pretty steady. Nina is basically standing there uselessly, just looking from hole to hole and not moving apart from that. Just head turning and sort of just like hands are fidgeting but doing nothing. And also, for the record, Cassette, you see Adard look completely unfazed by this. Adard rolled a natural 20.
Nice, okay.
And there's just a look. Marka has joined Adard, and they are both holding the wheel at this point, trying to keep a steady direction. And both of them look sure and confident. Man, quarter deck, way to go. 4 passes. So yeah, Claire, over to you.
Continuing the conversation between turns. Still holding her random pieces of planking. She, after hearing Bardor's reply about the potion, "You're supposed to tell me when you don't have a potion. I can't always be there to heal you." And she throws her stack of wood in the water and sloshes through the waist-high water, very a la Rose Titanic, because she is wearing a dress. And
Oh yeah.
she just takes her hand and just walks up to him and smacks it right on the side of his cheek and casts a rather hostile Cure Wounds at level 2.
Minus.
Nice.
Cure wounds with a minus.
What's the disadvantage on that? I feel like I need to lose 1 or 2.
That's what the dice say. The dice may just rule in favor of you not getting much healing
I
anyway.
notoriously roll really bad with my healing rolls anyway.
What's your unarmed strike damage?
Yeah, it's cure wounds with a saving throw.
So it would be 10 HP.
Oh, it would be 11 because of the upcast. But the upcast only gave an extra 1. That seems
I
appropriate.
look very surprised. I look very surprised.
You look very what? I don't doubt it. You look so surprised your health bar's disappeared. Ah, there it is.
We've all been there.
Oh, you
Yeah,
scared the
basically.
HP right out of me. Okay. Is Claire going to do anything else this round?
Yeah, she'll, after just kind of making some unintelligible, somewhere between fear and anger noises, she'll stomp as much as you can stomp in waist-high water back towards the last large hole and start trying to look for the appropriate pieces of wood again to start trying to cast mending on the last large hole.
Okay. So with the intent to cast that this round?
If she can, yeah. I mean, if she can go ahead and start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's make this an Arcana check.
Okay.
It won't be a disadvantage because essentially the disadvantage is just taking it away from an auto success.
17.
Okay. With the help of Lachlan, you are able to find enough of the right pieces to plug the final large hole. And you think, at least for now, the worst of the water has been stemmed. That's not to say there's not water coming in. Again, none of those patch jobs you've done have been perfect. Bardor's fix was literally just to cover it with a giant piece of wood and then nail it. So there's still water sneaking in there. And then your patches, there were bits that weren't filled in. So there's still some water coming in, but the amount which is coming in through those 4 is greatly reduced. There are still 2 smaller holes that are maybe we'll say one of them's about like 3 to 4 inches, the other one's like 5 to 6 inches at its widest. So they are still letting in water, but less of a concern. You feel less like you're going to drown in the hold right now. Well, a little bit less. The panic is still very much there, but again, there's some of your training is helping you stay on task. Okay. So, Smokey.
Yeah.
You see a shape leap back out onto the quarterdeck at high speed. It
Well,
looks very familiar,
I immediately
and it looks angry.
go to chomp him.
Okay. You may chomp. And Cosette, I would say if you want now, you can fire off your sanctuary, if you so choose.
What?
Okay, perfect. She'll do that.
I want new dice.
I mean, technically, we all have the same
Change
ones.
the color.
Okay.
That's as close as you can get to new dice on.
Right.
That's true.
I rolled a 2. And so that makes
Oh,
my
2.
attack is 6.
You need to use your crocodice.
So, you see it as it leaps up, and you try to bite at it. It's ready for you. It rolls out of the way and bites back. Just kidding. It tries to bite back. The two of you essentially it's like the most aggressive kiss ever. You try to bite at the same time and you end up like clashing teeth, and both of you like recoil, very uncomfortable with the situation that just happened.
They can't even make eye contact.
Nope.
No, it's
gotta-
kind of gross.
Yep.
So, as it sort of rolls away from you, it does look towards the captain. Remind me, please, Sanctuary, is that a wisdom save in order to attack?
Yeah.
Okay, and what is your DC?
That's a good question. It's probably on my character sheet somewhere.
I believe so.
Oh, it's probably on the spells page. Only a 13-ish.
Okay. Well, it's okay, because it did not roll that.
Oh, nice.
It rolled a lot less.
So it just must choose a new target. It's not that it loses its attack.
Okay. So it raises its trident, ready to hurl it at the captain. And as it does so, you see its arm like tense up. Like it can't throw. And it tries it a couple of times and then just hurls it at Marka instead, who is also holding the wheel.
Yeah. Am I close enough to do... I guess that was my action. Well, technically, the protection is a reaction. Am I close enough to both of them, or am I only close to the captain? I have to be within 5 feet to use the fighting style protection.
I would say that you absolutely could be standing basically like back to back with both of them. The wheel would be, what's that, like 4 feet?
Yeah,
4 feet. So, they're sort of standing either side of that. So yeah, you could totally be standing there. If it helps, totally doesn't matter. Boy, that trident flies off. It is gone. They are rolling impossibly bad right now.
Is there any chance
They're
it
rolling
might?
like Angie.
Is there any chance it might hit Kedox as it flies past the ship?
Jesus.
Let's see. Rich, roll a percentile dice.
You better roll bad.
95.
No, Mrs. Kedox. going to peel back the curtain just a little to say that there was only a 1% chance of that happening.
Was it 100 or 1 though?
That's what I'm curious.
It was 78.
You'll never know.
I know, that's what I want to...
Did he
I
just
feel like
missed or was he way
Eska
off?
wanted it to be 100. But I feel like most people might want it to be 1.
It's possible there was a 2% chance, and if it had been a 1 or 100,
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
I might have given it.
I mean, you've got to take any
It was so
opportunity
unlikely.
that you can to try and get something to hit one of your party mates. That's just the rules.
Especially key dogs.
Yes.
Because that's what familiars are for.
Yeah.
Being killed in unreasonable circumstances.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has resolved in a fairly ridiculous way. So Varys, you are waiting, and you hear some commotion behind you, and the very vague sound of something metal clattering on the main deck. And just as you turn to look, Kedox just sends you the image of a shark man. And you turn to see a shark man leaping out of the water. Since you are prepared, you are able to do a thing.
I do the thing.
I have been expecting you.
And the hand comes back out. Clenched fist and a thunder wave.
Alright, so give me an attack roll again.
Okay, dokie. We are doing the D20 this time. Bloop. And that is a 15.
Okay. First things first. That is a success. Second thing second. I need to figure out what I rolled last time.
I don't want to sort of
Did roll.
up the jeopardy, but should we have had a fail for the croc attack?
Oh, I said it was, but then I didn't change it. Yes. That was a failure.
Trying
Right.
to sink the ship and
Thank
kill Kedox.
Ah. What a bunch of crock.
I want to sink the ship so that I can sail into Drakesburg like
Like
Jack
Jack
Sparrow.
Sparrow.
Yeah.
Just on the map.
yeah.
Like,
yeah. The rest of you drowned under the deck and me just sailing in and just like, oh, I'm here.
But before that happens, Kedox flies up and shocking grasps you in the ankle.
Yeah.
Please remind me of your DC.
14.
Bloop.
I have fixed it. I found it. Oh.
like whack-a-mole. Like,
It is. It's unbelievable. It's gone. Yeah, it's. I have been on a very bad rolling streak here. Yeah, gone. I mean, it was coming at you, teeth and claws and trident, ready to slash through you, and it just gets bounced way out. Eska, you're probably the only person who even vaguely hears this. As you're like scanning around, you do see though this creature just go and gone again. Slightly more damage to the front of the ship. Not much. Just a little hint. Because it hadn't even landed by that point.
I guess everybody's going to come up from the hold proud of themselves for fixing the ship, and there's just going to be no front to the ship, and we just plow down in underwater.
That's my hope, yes.
Silverius looking very proud of himself.
I did
Is
it.
my hunter's mark going off like Pong? It's just like keeps going back and forth.
Yeah, because you know where it is at all times. So yes, it's yo-yoing like crazy right now. I'm very confused.
Sweet.
Well, I mean, you saw it happen the first time. So, given how sort of in tune you are with that, you probably know that something like that just happened again. sort of like in the back of your mind, you would be aware of that. So Varys, is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
I feel like there's not much I can do besides maybe just be observant.
That's fine.
Kinda.
That's a valid tactic. Okay.
Yeah. How long? These are 30-minute segments.
Yes.
Okay.
Broadly speaking,
So we've been going for a while. I guess I'll do a
it's
quick.
been a couple hours.
Yeah, jeez, I'm probably fatigued.
Take a nap.
I would imagine you are all in a pretty bad way from that point of view. Yes.
I mean, storms don't last this long, right? Should have been over by now.
They definitely last this long. You remember that ferry crossing we did, Rich?
Oh yeah, fun times.
It was supposed to be a 2-hour ferry from the north of France. Ended up being 4 because the weather was so bad.
This is why you take the
People
Channel
throwing
Tunnel.
up everywhere. Yeah.
A 3-hour tour.
That's where my brain went.
I don't know what that means.
It's fine. It's best that way.
Okay. Saved by being British. Brilliant.
Hooray!
Okay. Eska.
So Eska's plan. Well, Eska doesn't have a plan initially. She hunkers down for the first 5 minutes as the storm intensifies, and she just kind of like wraps ropes around her arms and just kind of like basically faces out of the storm to try and take a breather and get her composure back. She does briefly kind of like look through her pack and confusedly pulls out 2 healing potions and says, why have I got 2? And then just kind of buries them back in there and decides to think about that later. But then she will attempt to steel herself and face into the wind, and realizing that the boat is lurching badly, she's going to try and basically call out the when we're looking like we're coming at a bad angle to a wave, try and see that and keep the captain informed.
Okay. Are there any checks you want to make to facilitate this behavior?
I kind of want to, even though it's a disadvantage, because the failures feel fun. So, maybe perception to, attempt to sort of see them coming, maybe.
Okay. Give me a perception check at disadvantage.
I'm going to sink this boat if it's the last thing I do. Oh boy. That's a double natural 20 for 24.
I like how the dice are like.
Well then.
Even though you keep trying so hard.
Yeah. Boiled again.
Okay. You so you force yourself back up to look out. And sure enough, you see what appears to be first of all, you see that the land is not too far away. Relatively speaking, you're getting close to the island of Drakesburg, and you can see the lights on the shore. And you are definitely approaching away from the city, which was the plan. But you see that it looks like you are destined for some rocks pretty soon if you don't turn. So you relay that information that there's rocks dead ahead, and you feel the ship turning and start moving away from that direction. So you relay that information. Additionally, as you look out, you see something else. Something that you you weren't prepared for, let's say. In the sky, etched into the clouds, you see a shape. Not a creature. That was your first fear. This is something else. This is a dark feature set into the clouds. It takes a second for it to properly form in front of you. And by form in front of you, I say just form. It's like way up in the clouds. It's not like it's right up in your face. And you recognize some of it, but it's complicated. You see the bloody claw of Malar in the clouds. Just the outline in darker cloud. But there's more. The claw seems to be emerging from waves. Did something show up on your screens just now?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't know the significance of the waves, but you definitely know the significance of the claw. You've seen that now a few times. Cassette, Smokey. At this moment, the creature fighting with you looks up and dives off the ship, away from you.
We see the hand too.
If you look around, you do. Right now, you don't. It is.
Yeah, okay.
It is in front of the ship in the sky. So right now, you wouldn't see it because you're sort of facing back. Silvarius, you and Kedox would see it now too.
Eska does the equivalent of the moon elf equivalent of the cross. Which actually is like putting her like finger and thumb. I don't know why I'm holding it up to show you. It's like forming a like a almost like a C with her first finger and her thumb, and placing it against her heart. That is the kind of the symbology they use to invoke. She uses to kind of invoke the protection of her god.
Nobody sees that happen.
No, that's just for her.
Silvarius,
Aye.
please roll a d20.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna be okay. It's a 1.
Eska, you think the storm is starting to settle.
Does the symbol is the symbol holding there, or is it just brief?
Briefly. It's there for a good 5 minutes.
Okay.
The storm starts to settle, and you feel like it's beginning to pass. And then out of the corner of your eye, you see one large wave suddenly sweeping towards the ship from the side. I'm going to need everybody on the top of the ship to please roll either a strength or dexterity check. Strength or dexterity save.
Save.
And everyone in the hold, just a dexterity saving throw.
What are we rolling up top? Sorry.
Strength or dexterity save.
Okay, I got caught up looking at Claire's new thing, which seems so appropriate.
And so below deck, we are just doing a dexterity saving throw, or okay.
Yes. As this huge wave that is nearly as tall as the mast sweeps over from the port side and rocks the ship, nearly flipping it over.
So Varius with the unnatural 20.
I got a 9.
16 for Claire.
I think I still get the +2, so 16.
Yes, you do. Smokey, you would also get the +2.
13.
9 for Eska.
Okay. So Varys, you are swept off your feet, grab hold of a piece of railing that you haven't destroyed, and remain steadfastly on the forecastle. Cosette, very similar story for you on the quarterdeck. You do see, however, Captain Adard finally lose grip of the wheel, and she tumbles into Smokey, and the pair of them disappear over the rail. Marka manages to hold firm, not only to keep position on the ship, but somehow keep hold of the wheel.
Is this something that's happening so fast we don't have a chance to do an action?
You don't. You are hit by this wave. Full on, exposed at the top there. And you are sent. You are caught up in the wave. Pushed off of the mast. What would you like to do?
I was going to forego my own safety to try and cast a spell.
What were you going to try and cast?
Vortex Warp. Do you want me to put it in chat?
Yes, please.
Sounds different.
I don't know that spell.
And I would try and twin cast it as well.
Okay. You can definitely twin cast. And I would definitely say, as you are being swept off, you can you can cast that.
I guess what she would try and do is kind of, as she was getting swept, seeing them looking like they are closer to the sea and in danger, and knowing how important they are, she would just reach out both her hands and grasp them together and try and pull them back to put them on the main deck.
Okay. And that's Smokey and Adard?
Yes.
Okay. So, Smokey, you're knocked by this wave, and then So that already loosens your footing, and then you feel the captain barrel into you, and you start to go over the rail, and then you feel this tug, like, sort of like deep in your core, pulling you away from the water. Do you fight it?
No.
Okay. I don't think Adard would either. So the pair of you are sent onto the main deck. Eska, you are thrown into the sea. Claire and Bardor. As this wave hits, only one of you is conveniently in a position where you aren't sent barreling around in the hold. Claire, you happen to be like standing next to the stairs, and as it hit, your instincts just grab on, and you lose your footing, but you aren't then knocked around like Flubber, like Bardor. Bardor, I'm afraid I'm going to need you to take
87 damage.
It's only 17 bludgeoning, as you are cracked around by the wave and sent into the very firm wood of the side of the ship.
17.
Yes.
I really debated not healing Bardor and focusing on the ship, and I'm really glad I didn't do that now.
Yeah, that was a good call. So, recap of where things are at. Right now, Silverius is clutching onto the railing in the forecastle. Adard and Smokey are sitting on the main deck, kind of confused as to what just happened. Marka is still holding steady at the helm. Cosette, you turn after clutching onto the rail, and you just see Eska disappear with the top of the wave into the sea. Claire, you see Bardor fly across the hold, headbutting the wall and landing in a heap. Well, to be honest, he probably lands like in the water, which is waist high. So we'll Bardor, roll me a percentile die, please.
Roll a drowning check.
Yeah.
Does Eska happen to hit key docks on the way evermore?
No, I got a 20, 24.
Bardor, you land face up. Congratulations.
Waist high dwarf water. He lands face up. Does that really matter?
Well,
Now he's slowly drowning with his nose
Yeah.
Just slowly
just the
sinking.
surface.
It's better than face down.
Yeah.
Cassette, please roll a percentile die.
I really just wanted to do this.
No.
67.
Eska does not hit key dogs.
Oh, darn.
No. Ironically, that may have been
Stupid game
useful.
anyway.
It was 66 you needed.
So, two things. First of all, the storm is settling, and the small harbor of Dark Orchards is ahead. Secondly, Eska is not on the ship. We are now officially out of the trial. You had 15 successes, 2 failures. 2 failures does not mean that you failed by any means. In fact, this would be considered a minor success. There's, however, one small complication to deal with. And that would be your moon elf drifting off somewhere
That's just
in the ocean.
that's the 16th success, really.
Yeah, I mean,
I-
maybe we could just ask Smokey to join us, and you know,
Back up
Yeah,
to
same.
the hand of
Yeah.
ages.
yeah,
Five.
call it even.
Yeah, we don't need to grow a 6th finger.
Yeah, we don't need to become the weird six-fingered man from Princess Bride.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, I do have a question.
Denied.
Yeah.
Am I conscious and able to do things?
Ooh, interesting. Let's say, give me
Hold on.
a.
I'll roll the percentage die. I got this.
Do me a favor. Whisper it to me.
Okay. You want me to whisper you a D100?
Well, apparently it's going to be Silveris who's
Oh.
rolling this.
That's right. 2 GM.
Oh, apparently I had GM set on, so sorry if you didn't see my dice earlier, people.
Look, it was coming through.
I just for my D, like 20 or whatever it was earlier. I assume that didn't maybe come through. I don't know.
Okay. Cassette. What do you do at this moment?
Like as soon as she saw Eska, I think she'd just yell out, "Man overboard," and I don't know, maybe start running to the main deck to see if there's any, like she could get a good view over the side or something. I'm assuming the sail's down, so we're not moving too fast, right?
Right.
I guess so she would just look around. She'd yell that out and then look around for something to maybe, you know, either a long pole or something that she can try to help Eska with.
Okay. Silverius and Smokey, you are also up there, so you hear Cassette yell that out. What do you do?
I assume you just lounge in the sun.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
She's just like, which one was that again? Do we care?
Yeah.
Did I meet her? I don't remember.
Huska? No, I would say that hearing that, Silvarius would approach the side and would divert Kedox into a searching pattern.
Would pretend to look for Eska.
On the,
Yeah, he's on the other side of the
ship. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
To be clear, you don't know who was swept overboard.
Oh. Okay.
It could have been you.
If that changes your enthusiasm a little.
Once he finds
I
I don't know.
out, it's
Silverius may still
Eska,
not care.
Then
He might slow down.
this is revenge for all the Gus.
Yeah.
Just let her
I think
steep in the ocean for a little bit.
Like a good tea.
I think I would change back into my regular form
Okay.
and pull out my 50 foot of silk rope. and go over to Cassette and I guess try to help look over the side to see if I see anybody.
Did you
Okay.
say silk rope?
Yeah.
Yes.
Put that in salt water?
Hey, I don't know
You can
that.
put it in there once.
It's gonna get
It's
irreparably
clearly-
damaged.
It's fine.
Yeah. The washing and care instruction tag explicitly says not to throw it in salt water.
Let me get perception checks from Cassette, Smokey, Silverius, Kedox. Eska.
Yeah.
Currently, you are not conscious. You are not able to do anything.
Guess I got a 10.
That's rubbish.
Yep.
I don't know
Tavarius
that
and
I'm-
Kedox appropriately got a 6.
I don't
Smokey
think I
has a
know that I'm
15.
not conscious though.
No, you don't know that you're not conscious. That's true.
Yeah.
Smokey, you look out and you see where everyone else is looking, and you do a bit of thinking, and you're like, no, she'd be way further back. The ship's still moving forwards. And so you look behind the ship, and you see barely. There's very little light right now. I mean, it's dark, but you see what looks like a shape in the water, not moving of its own volition, and at a guess, you would say face down.
Okay. So I'd be over by Silvarius.
No, the other way. You would have ended up looking towards the back of the ship.
Oh, okay.
And these guys have sort of meandered over here.
Okay. So he would point and shout, "There! I see her!" And see if anybody will come.
I'm just gonna like stumble up the stairs, not knowing what's going on at all, like holding my head and groaning.
Yeah, you're bleeding some more. You've got a pretty good, like, wound in your head that is sort of like bleeding down the side of your face. You're in a bad way. But you stumble up and you see some commotion as people are heading towards the back of the ship.
I'll like slowly stumble up that way.
Yeah, Cassette's gonna head that way too. She was trying to find out where she was.
Is Kedox still lit up?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was actually, depending on where Smokey was pointing, Silvarius is gonna kind of extend his hand out that way, and Kedox would start heading out that way to illuminate the situation in the direction of prompting.
Between you, with Smokey kind of pointing out where what you think is Eska is in the water, Kedox is able to fly out and land on the shape's back, and you
Holds
think
its
that
head
looks like Eska.
down. No.
She is about 40 feet behind the ship and drifting further behind, though. So you need to act quickly.
How rough are
Well,
the waters?
It's still kind of rough. It is starting to settle. And you would know as you're sort of walking back, you look up and that symbol has gone. that was like in the clouds previously.
Well, Smokey would just pull out the rope, his silk rope, and just be like, I don't know how useful this would be, but this is all I have. And he'll throw it to whoever's closest to him, and try to jump in to grab Eska.
Okay. Are you jumping in cat form? Is that the plan?
I think so. I don't have all the directions for wild shape, so I don't know how many times I can do that.
I'm pretty sure you can do it twice.
At least
It's at least twice. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, in that case...
I assume at some point it goes up, but I don't know.
Hang on. I'll turn into something then.
Twice, and it renews when you finish a short or long rest.
Okay. In that case... I will turn into an octopus and jump in.
Octopus, you say? Definitely prepared for that. 100%. Always prepared for an octopus. Definitely not stalling. No way. Not sorting creatures by name and scrolling down to O. That's that other guy. Okay. So you have 30-foot swim speed. You're able to get out pretty quickly. It's very easy for you to cling onto the rope with a couple of tentacles and still propel yourself quickly. Sylvaris.
Does anybody
I would
hold
say
on to
you're
the upper
closest.
Yes.
I would.
Okay. Do me a favor, roll me athletics check, please.
Okay. Now is the time that I want to succeed. With a 21.
Lovely. You see Smokey the Octopus reach Eska and latch tentacles around her. And you have the rope. You can start pulling in.
You start to vigorously overhand pulling.
Okay. As you start pulling really hard, you see that the silk rope is quite fragile.
A little less vigorous.
Okay. You reel in your escapus. And
That's got to be quite a sight.
I would imagine so. There's like a sort of weird alien-esque symbiotic grab here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me also... Oh, boy. Okay. Eska's quite dry. I mean, no, not quite dry, quite light. I was thinking, you know, when people say, you know, so-and-so only weighs however many pounds wet or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking that she doesn't weigh very much when she's dry. She probably doesn't weigh very much when she's... Never mind. My brain took some weird turns down that alley and got very lost. Point is...
That's good, surprisingly dry, is what you're saying.
I'm going to need the octopus to make a strength check to see how well you hold on to her.
It's gonna be...
This is challenging because it turns out the octopus is not strong.
It's not.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, now I have a -3.
Oh.
So it's 13.
It's a good thing she's so light. She starts to slip, and you're able to readjust the tentacles and hold on to her. And Silveris eventually drags the pair of you over the rail and onto the quarterdeck. Eska is not currently moving. Yep, not currently moving. Don't know if that matters to any of you.
Well, Smokey will turn.
I mean, technically, one of you's an octopus, so
He'll turn back into his normal self, and then like put his ear up to her chest, see if he can feel her breathing or hear her heartbeat.
make a medicine check. Twice in one night. Wild.
That would be a 15.
Okay. As you press your ear, listening, there's not a whole lot going on right now.
Okay. He will do a what's the difference? Sorry, I was going to cast something, but it's being weird, and I don't know what it means, so I'm going to ignore it. For some reason, I have, like, cure wounds on my thing. That's not...
Uh-huh. Is that a problem?
I don't know why.
Well, it's a spell you can take.
All right. Well, I'll do a cure wounds on her.
Okay.
Is that what I do? Click it. What level?
Do you have
I
it
see.
prepared?
I think it's... Rich, did you put things on my,
Druids aren't prepared, right?
Druid's prepared.
Yeah, Druid's prepared.
Oh.
But they have innate, don't they?
I think
Or is
that's an
that-
innate thing, because it's not technically I don't think it's a normal Druid. Right, because it's on
Let's see
the...
what your
It's not on my spells list. Oh, wait, there it is. Why is it on the front of my page, too? I thought you put my... You said something about putting some of my innate stuff on the front page. Like my initial page. Right?
It automatically moves anything that has like a dice roll onto that front page.
Okay. I see.
Whether you have it prepared or not, it doesn't know.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, your prepared one should
Never
be
mind.
highlighted.
I can't cast that because I don't have it prepared.
Okay. Oh, I see. Actually, looking at it, it says Rich put some stuff in brackets. It says innate
Okay.
on the spell page.
Okay.
So okay. So Smokey does not do anything. Understood.
Yep. I don't have anything for healing, so no, I don't.
So, what does that look like? So Smokey has helped pull Eska out of the ocean. So yes, and then you're like, you're in a position where you want to try to cast a spell, but you realize you haven't got any focused right now. So explain to me what that looks like for the others around.
So I don't know. So in a kind of just a super focused way, he would have just changed back into his normal form and just immediately like knelt down next to her, listened just to kind of gauge, recognize that she's obviously not seeming to be alive, and then like grasping for trying to focus and cast a spell, and then realizing that's not going to work, and then he'll quickly turn to everybody else and just kind of, and he would just say, "She needs healing." And wait,
Okay.
and then wait to see if anybody else is going to react.
Everyone on the top deck would hear that. Claire, were you still in the hold, or do you think you would have emerged at this point?
I was gonna ask before, how did Lachlan and Nina fare in the tumble?
Oh, they died.
I only rolled the 2 up. Oh, hold on. Let's check.
Oh no.
Look what you've done.
Okay. So, Nina, in her panic state, went and sat on stairs and was already clutching the railings, and so was broadly unaffected. Lachlan, on the other hand, had a very similar journey to Bardur. Bounced off of the wood and looks severely concussed. Not drowning, but definitely concussed and possibly a broken wrist after being hurled at high velocity across the hold.
Yeah, so she was on the stairs. When she saw Bardur go past, she probably would have just very weakly just called out to him like, "Bardur, your head," as he went up the stairs. But she is a girl of hyper focus. She still seeing the water coming in through the holes in the ship. That is still her concern, because that's all she really knows is going on. She would try her best to get Nina to help her drag Lachlan at least to the stairs, and get him out of the water, sitting up. I don't think she's not going to try to heal him at the moment, but she gets him situated, and then she actually is still trying to patch the hole.
Okay.
I know this isn't the most efficient gameplay, but I would like to push through everybody holding my head and bleeding and rifle through Eska's stuff, because I know she's got a healing potion. Can I do?
Yeah, I think, especially with Longstrider active, you could definitely get there before, certainly before Cassette, because I don't think Cassette had started moving that way at this point.
We all know that that's not what you're looking for in my pack.
I don't know about the arrows, okay?
Bardur doesn't think you do, and this is your
look at
chance.
these sharp
You've
arrows.
waited so long.
Yoink.
Bardur, make an investigation check, please.
To all you new listeners, find out about the arrows in season 1.
Wait, this is season 1.
Season 0.
Season 0.
24 on
There
investigation.
we go. So you, sure enough, you rummage through Eska's pack, and you find a couple of small vials of healing
Can I tell any
potions,
difference between them?
and they're broadly the same. The familiar red liquid. You do also notice a couple of nice arrows in there.
Well, that's a high roll.
High roll.
I'll make note of that. But I'll pop open one of them and I'll just pour one down her.
If Cassette's down there, I don't know if she would have went up to the quarterdeck when everybody else did. I didn't move my character, but I figured she would. But if she saw Bardor, she would go to help him. But I think she was probably up on the quarterdeck, trying to rescue Eska and maybe pulling in the rope and stuff.
You would see this bloodied and beaten Bardor push past you.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I stop him? And
let Eska die like she should.
well,
We don't
okay,
need
so
her.
I guess the timing doesn't really. Okay, so maybe I think Cassette would be up on the quarterdeck. So continue on.
No,
Okay.
I mean if I'm not gonna be like, you can stop because you stopped me before I went in. Technically, I'll leave it up to
what-
Phil to determine if that's acceptable or not.
What was your plan going to be?
I was just
For
gonna do a cure wounds.
Oh, well, I mean, I was
either of you.
basically just
Yeah, I
gonna
was gonna.
give her the healing potion. So
Okay.
And I was gonna
Um,
try to cure him. If I saw that, I would have tried to cure him or help him.
you're going to cure him.
Yes.
Okay. Both of you roll initiative.
Okay.
okay, interesting.
6.
Okay.
9.
Rubbish rolls. Good thing
Yeah.
this wasn't important.
I
How dare
actually
you.
I rolled a 3, but I actually have a pretty decent
Yeah, you did.
bump. So
Does anybody else want to get in on this?
Bardor pushes Claire out of the way. The cleric walks up the stairs, sees the paladin, goes, "Get the hell out of my way! I gotta steal Eska's shit."
Let's be clear. Bardor is not in a sound
mind
body
and,
and mind
yeah.
situation. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a
and he got-
bit messed up. He's just thinking,
yeah,
I know I can
He's
help.
just like, really just standing around. He's like, "Hey, get them." Everyone's useless but me.
So, Bardor, please roll 2d4. And then we'll add 2, and Eska, this will be your new hit points. Cassette, you can reach
6.
out to, so Eska, 8 hit points. Cassette, as you see, like, he gets past you, and then as he's rummaging, you can cure wounds him if you want. That's fine.
Okay, I'll go do that. He doesn't seem to be. He's just a little loopy, right? He doesn't seem to be affected by any sort of any disease or poison or anything like that.
Make a medicine check.
Okay.
3 times? Are you kidding me?
A 9 with the -1.
It's hard to gauge if anything else is going on with him because his wounds are pretty severe right now.
Okay, so
He is battered and bloody. He has a pretty hefty bite wound on, I believe it was his shoulder, and then he has this big cut that's opened up on his head. That you have no idea where that came from.
okay, we'll do.
He's just a state.
We'll do a cure wounds level 2.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that. No, I do now. Let's see.
Just like that.
Cool. 14 total.
Okay. So Bardor, as you're rummaging through the pack, you just feel this warmth radiating from behind you. And you feel less on death's door. A little bit more like yourself again. Eska, the last thing you remember is being hit by this wave, and your final thought as this wave hit you was to save Smokey and Captain Adard. And you remember pulling them hard with your mind over to the deck, and then darkness consumed you. The next thing you remember, your eyes slowly open, and you are surrounded by most of your group. You see a glowing Kedox overhead, and strangely, you see a battered and bloody Bardoor leaning over you with holding a small vial to your mouth.
She'll blink a few times and just say, What happened? To Bardoor.
Oh.
Does Bardoor respond?
I did respond. I just said, I don't know.
That's bad.
He's like full on Crimson Mask right now, basically.
God.
I guess she would maybe taste the remnants of the potion, right?
Yes, definitely. Slightly, honestly, there's a hint of sort of the slight metallic taste of blood, which is a little disconcerting, but I mean, I'm sure she would have had a potion before, and so would be able to identify it. Yeah.
She will rock up onto her elbows and then reach an arm out and hug onto Bardoor.
What was?
Or attempt to. She's just gonna hug him for a couple of seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks about it like he's just flustered. Claire slaps him. Eska hugs him. He's just like, I don't know what's going on, man. I get bit.
This has been a confusing last few minutes for Bardoor.
I get bit by a giant shark thing. I'm bleeding out. I hit my head. I don't know what's going on.
Ay.
She doesn't know any of that, so she's just thankful, and then she just collapses back and stares up at Kedox.
Okay. The mood lightens, I think, a little at this as Eska breathes, and there's probably some concern that she's just hugged Bardoor, because that's a little out of character. But there's no real time to process all of that. Marka walks over and says, "All right, get ready. We're coming into Dark Orchards." Wow, you all look terrible. It's all right. We can probably find you somewhere to recuperate a little before heading into the city. I think you might need it. And Marka walks away to go talk to the captain, and you can see, because of the way the ship is built, the quarterdeck sits higher than the forecastle. As you look forwards, you can see now that the ship is indeed slowly moving into a small harbor, and there's you hear some shouting and some commotion. And Lachlan and Nina eventually emerge from the hold, and ropes are thrown out. The boat comes to a pause and a rest, finally, after tumultuous waves. You find yourselves on the island of Drakesburg, north of the main city, in the small, clustered buildings of dark orchards. And that is where we'll pick up next time.
Woo.
Ooh, we did it.
Hooray.
All the character joking aside, whenever somebody is in danger, it's always like super nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Okay, but Nina and Lachlan came out. Nobody has come down and told Claire y'all are there yet. She's just down there plugging holes like nobody's tomorrow, just like crying, like.
Oh no.
She thinks the storm is still raging.